Toxic boyfriends of Reddit. The internet is fun and awesome, and it's a great way to entertain yourself regardless of what your interests are. But we all know there's a very dark side to the internet as well. It's full of toxic people, and it's full of stories about toxic people or stories about experiences with toxic people. Reddit is an amazing collection of thousands upon thousands of stories. Stories about nearly any topic you could ever imagine. Today we're going to take a look at stories from people who are complaining about their toxic boyfriends. And by toxic we don't only mean toxic, we also mean abusive, manipulative, and downright evil. Who needs soap operas when you've got first-hand accounts of some very dramatic and very evil situations? That last sentence made it sound like this video is solely for entertainment purposes, so I need to go ahead, stop here and give a disclaimer. 2 disclaimers actually. The first disclaimer serves as a trigger warning for those that have been victim to any kind of assault, abuse, or manipulation. The second disclaimer is to bring light to these issues, and hopefully help someone in a tough situation recognize the situation they're in and seek help. We're going to look at multiple posts from the relationship advice subreddit and a decade-old post from the Ask Reddit subreddit. My boyfriend, 36 male, drugged me, 26 female, with Benadryl because we got into an argument before a road trip and he wanted me to sleep the whole time. Monday we decided to make the 8-ish hour drive back to our home state and quarantine there instead for a few months. Right before leaving, we got into a big fight because I wanted to stay at my mother's house for a while. He doesn't want me to, among other things I won't get into. Well, before leaving we decided to eat dinner so we didn't have to stop anywhere. Fast forward to our drive, and not long after hitting the road I passed out. Don't even really remember falling asleep. Woke up one time for a while, drank some Gatorade which she gave me, and then I fell asleep again. I thought this was extremely weird because I wasn't tired hardly at all, and we didn't even leave super early. I kept commenting on how weird it was that I was tired the whole drive and slept 90% of it. Yesterday the tension eased a bit, and he made the offhanded comment that he wishes he could drug me more when I act out and argue with him. I ask him what he's talking about. Proceeds to tell me he put Benadryl in my drink and that's why I slept, so he didn't have to deal with me. He literally said this as though it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm still reeling from the conversation and completely floored. I don't know if I'm overreacting or not, but something tells me I'm not, and it's extremely fucked up to put medicine in drinks. I don't know what to do. She later posted an update saying that her brother came and helped her move out of this abusive guy's house. Her mom is letting her safely stay over there while she works to collect herself and get back on her feet. This was posted a few years ago, so hopefully she's still doing well and was able to move on. My boyfriend is mad that I don't want to get a boob job. So I, 20 female, have been with a guy, let's call him John, 34 male, for almost 4 months. We first met just before my 18th birthday, but only started going out shortly after my 20th. I was at his place today to watch a hockey game, and made an offhanded comment that when I was younger, I wanted a boob job because I didn't like that my breasts were big and uneven, the back pain I would get from them, and how I hated that they seemed to make guys over-sexualize teenage me. Without looking away from the TV, John said that I should get a boob job as uneven boobs were a massive turnoff, and that my boobs were so big to the point that they were kind of gross and part of why he had gotten fully intimate with me yet. He has seen me in just bras and straight topless, and I have gone down on him, but we haven't had penetrative sex, and he won't go down on me. I just laughed awkwardly and said I wasn't in a place to be able to drop a few $1,000s on a boob job. John shrugged and said he could and would pay for my boob job. I told John that I honestly didn't know if I wanted a boob job anymore. That was 14 to 16-year-old me who was insecure about having what seemed like the biggest chest in her grade, and that 20-years-old me was more confident and kind of liked her boobs, minus when I have to find a bra that actually fits me in both cup and band, and the unwanted attention I still get sometimes. LOL. John then got mad, like really mad. He slammed his beer can on the table and called me a selfish bitch for not considering his preference, especially since he's offering to pay for the surgery. When I said that I didn't want one right now, or maybe ever, he kicked me out of his house at 10 p.m, on the opposite end of the city of my house, saying that he needs some time apart from me. I ended up catching one of the last buses home, and the entire bus ride he'd been texting me testimony from people who have gotten boob reductions and evened them out, and telling me to look at how happy they are. He seemed so mad when he kicked me out, but in the text he's calling me baby and kitten, and just texted me the kiss emoji saying he's sorry for yelling at me, and that he had just had too much to drink. He had been drinking a lot, more than usually, and asking if we're still on for tomorrow's lunch date, so honestly, I don't really know where we stand right now. She then posted an update saying how she had never been with anyone before, and it was hard for her to look past all of the red flags, because of the way he treated her when things were good. She said she met up with him and told him that their relationship was over. He didn't get mad, he just casually told her that she would regret it. She said a few days later that although she misses him, she is absolutely staying away from him from now on. My stepsister is telling my whole family my boyfriend got her pregnant to make herself feel better. Sorry, weird title. So I met my 25 female boyfriend Tim, 36 male, 3.5 years ago. We hit it off. He was great and sweet, and we get along perfectly. Until I introduced him to my family. My mother had gotten remarried a few months earlier. I like my stepdad, and we get along fine. My stepsister Sarah, who is 26, and we're friendly but not besties by any means. She's kind of an intense party girl, and being in our 20s we only saw each other at family events. So I introduced him to my family, at which point we learned that Sarah used to date Tim when they were 20. It was only a few months, and Tim said they broke up because she made out with another guy at a nightclub while drunk. Sarah got upset and started saying I had to break up with him because it was weird. She called Tim her sloppy seconds, and tried to get our parents to force us to break up. I said no. It had been years since they'd been together, and I didn't even know Sarah when she was dating Tim. I got pretty upset because my family jumped on the bandwagon of saying we should break up. For the past few years at any family gathering, Sarah would mention how they used to date and act like I stole her boyfriend, and has been selling that narrative to my family and friends. It became obvious that she was jealous. But I liked Tim, so we just ignored it and kept dating. So now a few years later Tim and I live together and we've been talking about marriage and stuff, and I recently had a conversation with my mom about how I thought Tim was going to propose, because he's not exactly subtle, and we've talked about this for a while. At which point Sarah, who just moved back in without parents, walked in. She started asking a bunch of invasive questions about our relationship and being weird. Sarah is 4 months pregnant. The father, she said, was some deadbeat guy she'd hooked up with who wants nothing to do with her, but she wants to keep the baby. I'd been making an effort taking her to appointments and offering to help babysit and trying to be excited for her. Until a week ago when my stepdad sent me a long text saying how I can't marry Tim because he is the real father of Sarah's baby. I was immediately very upset and confronted Tim, who was completely shocked and said Sarah was lying. He said there's no way and he didn't cheat on me, and he would gladly have a paternity test to prove that. Unsure, I asked Sarah for more details about when they slept together, which she says happened a few times. She was shaky and went back and forth on details. The dates and times don't match up with what I can remember of what Tim and I have been doing. She also said she came to her house to see him, but since the pandemic I've been working from home. So I can't imagine that they managed that. I'm pretty sure now that she's lying to get us to break up because she's still jealous. But now my family are involved and have been sending me hateful messages saying I need to break up with Tim and let him be with Sarah. She's telling everyone he's in love with her and I'm keeping him from her. She has no proof and he strictly denied everything. I texted her asking for proof of any of this happening, and she sent me some fake Photoshop screenshots that I can tell are fake, where she's put Tim's name over a friend's number and pretended he was messaging her. I checked and the friend all but admitted it to me and tried to laugh it off. She badly photoshopped the timestamps. I actually don't know what to do now. I believe Tim and we are still together, but this has kind of thrown a wedge in everything. Sarah has poisoned my relationship with our parents and my family. I feel sick to my stomach, and Sarah is now saying she won't give me a paternity test. For now I've cut everyone off except Tim, but I don't know what to do now. She later posted a very long and detailed update, all of which is not included in this screenshot, but I'll try my best to sum it up for you. Tim offered to take a paternity test, but the OP of the story stepped in and gave her parents an ultimatum: either believe her and Tim or they'll disown their entire family. So, the sister, Sarah, comes out and says it was all a lie, and blamed it on mental health issues. She says she was just knocked up by some deadbeat. It turns out this guy wasn't a deadbeat at all. He had a good job and wanted to be a good dad to the baby. Sarah had her baby, but the OP and her fiancé will not be around to visit. Also, yeah, fiancé, he ended up proposing to her as well. I, 23 female, am days away from giving birth, and my 37 male boyfriend just decided to tell me that he can't be at the birth because he's married. I'm just in shock right now. Like, I almost feel numb, but I really appreciate everyone here for your help. I was really happy and looking forward to baby, and I just feel really sad right now, so I need to take a breather. Everything is ready for the baby and I'm still excited to meet them, but Jesus. So first off, I know the age gap probably should have been a red flag, but I was stupid. We've been together for 2 years, but he lives in a different city. When I got pregnant, he said he was going to move to my city, and we would move in together. He just needed to finalize some things with his ex-wife. He told me he was divorced when we met, and I never had any reason to question it. I knew that he had 2 kids with her as well. He told me the truth about that, just not that he wasn't divorced or even separated. So fast forward, I'm 39 weeks and he suddenly got uncommunicative, which is less than ideal when you're literally about to give birth. Bear in mind that he was supposed to have been fully moved in here a month ago, blamed COVID. Today I found out I am going to be induced on Monday, unless baby decides to come out over the weekend, so I contacted him, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And that's when he told me that he isn't actually separated or divorced. He never told his wife about anything, and now he felt like he was backed into a corner. I don't feel sorry for him for that because that's his own fault, but obviously literally 4 days before giving birth isn't the time you want to get this news, and I have no idea what to do now. Tell him to fuck off, obviously, but what else? I feel like I can take care of the baby, but I was preparing to have a partner to take care of it with me, you know. I don't even know what I'm asking for in terms of advice, but any advice for moving forward and handling this is appreciated. She later comes back with an update. This guy's wife had suspicions, and one night she went through his phone where she discovered that her husband got a 23-year-old pregnant. The wife called OP and they talked for about an hour. The wife is divorcing him, and OP is going through the legal process of establishing custody and getting child support set up. The baby was born nice and healthy, and everyone seems to be doing perfectly fine, as of the last update.